Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name's Elizabeth Blazie, and I'm excited to have you joining us tonight for a Blazie Technologies webinar. Thank you for taking the time to be with us. Before we get started, I'd like to share a few announcements. First, if you haven't visited our website recently, you should check it out. We've added several new resources, including our growing resource center, a new customer testimonial section, and a separate page for all of our press releases from the past. We're always looking for ways to make it easier to find the information you need. We're also excited to announce that we're now providing transcripts for all of our webinars and training sessions. We hope these further improve the accessibility of our downloadable resources and website content for members of the deaf and blind community. You'll now find both the recordings and transcripts on our website after each event. I also have Bianca, who is going to briefly discuss the new training sessions we're offering.
Hi, everyone, and good evening. So, for those who may not know, we're now hosting monthly training sessions on the last Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. These sessions provide more in-depth instruction on specific topics and are a great complement to our monthly webinars. As always, if you can't make it to any of our sessions, we promptly post them on our website and our YouTube. But we hope that you'll be able to join us for these live as well. And with that, let's get started. I'll now hand things over to you, David.
Thanks so much. Hey, everybody, it's David. Thank you for joining us on this monthly webinar. It's always good to be here, and it's always good to have you here. So, as we usually do on the monthly webinar, we usually talk about some features of an upcoming update, and there is an update in the works. It could be ready as soon as 24 hours from now. We're just doing some last minute testing and making sure that everything is fully baked, if you know what I mean. So that will be coming to a BT Speak and a BT Braille near you very soon. We will announce when it's ready. On the discussion list, if you're on either the BT Braille early adopters list or the BT Speak list, you will know. And your BT Speak should tell you anyway, usually announces that a new update is available. And if you are under warranty or if your BT Speak is under a maintenance contract, this update is free for you. Now, if your BT Speak is not under warranty and not under a maintenance contract, it will not tell you that the update is available. So there are options that are available for you if you want to get the new update. You can either, pay a one-time fee of $50 to keep your unit current and have all of the latest software, or you can get a maintenance contract from our website by going to Blazie Tech, tech.com. Go to the link that says shop, and you will be able to purchase a BT Speak maintenance contract on a monthly or annual pay it. You can pay it for the entire year or for the month. $20 a month or $200 for the entire year. You can also call us. We can process that order for you by phone at 772-214-1616. Okay, BT Braille users don't have to worry about that for the moment because you're getting updates with the BT Braille. So that will be coming to you. Okay, speaking of phone numbers and numbers in general, that was a great segue because I want to talk about some of the features that are coming up in what will be the August update. And I'm going to do a little bit of demos for you. And Tim Noonan is also on the call, and he'll be doing some demos as well. So we're going to lift the lid, so to speak, on what's coming up in the update. The biggest change or set of changes has to do with Braille. Now, this is not just for BT Braille. So BT Speak users need not be left out. The changes that are coming have to do, and these are not the only changes, but a lot of changes have to do with Braille translation. For UEB, UEB uncontracted, and US English Braille, which is really the what is officially EBAE, or English Braille American Edition. That's the Braille code that many of us grew up with before UEB was officially adopted. In the United States, it was officially adopted in 2016. And of course, we support UEB, but a lot of people do prefer the US English Braille, the older Braille code. And the problem with that Braille code, with that Braille table that we offered you, is there were some translation issues. By the way, I think we also made some changes in UK English Braille, so there are a ton of translation changes across the board. And whether you use BT Speak or BT Braille, it is going to make Braille input just a lot better. I think these changes are massive. And quite frankly, if they were the only changes that we offered, this would be a phenomenal update. Now, those are not the only changes that we're providing, but these Braille changes are huge. And one of them that I'm going to show you has to do with entering numbers in the US English Braille. Now, a lot of people, and people have been calling us about this, honestly, I think for a couple of years, because this has been a problem on day one. So you know that, and this is going to be old hat to most of you, you know that when you enter numbers, you enter the number sign first, and then you enter the letter representing the number, right? So you enter A for 1 and B for 2, and you guys know all that. And we were doing that, but there were some issues that kind of tripped people up, and for good reason. One of them is that as you were typing the letters or reviewing them, it would just speak the letters. So if you were writing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you would hear A, B, C, D, E, F. So if you knew the code really well, you knew what it was, but that kind of annoyed some people. And if you enter punctuation in a number, like a dash, right? Like the way you would enter a phone number or a social security number, or maybe a credit card number, after you type a dash or a decimal, it would really mess things up. Well, we think that we have addressed this, and I honestly think we have, based on the testing that I've seen and the results that I've seen. A lot of you remember that the Braille and Speak handled this pretty well. I think we've probably surpassed the way that the Braille and Speak did this. So I'm just going to do a quick demo for you on a BT Speak with this latest update. Now, let's make sure that I'm in the right file.
At line 1, in test.brl.
Okay, I'm going to make this a little louder. I'm in a file called test.brl. And I'm going to slow this down
Speech controls,
just a
rate 1.
tad, which I really should have done before the call.
Exit.
And I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's...
Top of file. Delete menu. Cut 2 characters.
Okay. So we're going to go in this file, and I'm actually going to enter our phone number. Now, this is a US English Braille file, so this is the older Braille code. And the first thing, of course, that we have to do with any number is we enter a number sign.
Number sign.
Now I'm going to enter the numbers with the letter equivalents. So I'm going to enter GGB for 772, 772, and watch what it does.
7, 7, 2.
Okay, I'm going to do the dash.
Hyphen.
It said hyphen. I'm going to finish the number.
2, 1. 4, hyphen, 1, 6, 1, 6.
Okay, let's press enter and make a new line for that. Let's go to the previous line and listen to how it sounds.
772 214 1616.
Okay, so that is a vast improvement. And if that was the only thing that we did, I would still be thrilled, but it's not.
Topic file.
Let's review this letter by letter.
Number sign.
We've got the number sign, of course. Let's keep moving.
7, 7, 2, hyphen, 2, 1, 4, hyphen, 1, 6, 1, 6. New line.
Cool. We can also honor the decimal point. So let's enter
Number sign.
12.27.
1, 2.
I'm going to press dots 4-6 for the decimal.
Dot. 2, 7.
Okay. And let's read that back.
12.27.
Just as you would expect.
End of file. New line.
We can also do letter number combinations, and it seems to handle that quite gracefully. Suppose you live in apartment B12. That's B as in Bravo. Okay, so we'll enter the letter sign, dots 5-6,
Dots 5, 6.
and a B,
B.
number sign.
Number sign. 1, 2.
There we go. Let's read it back.
B12.
And there you go.
End of file.
Might also be appropriate if you're writing about vitamin B12. Okay, so as you see, we've made a lot of improvements to numbers. There are tons of Braille translation fixes across the board. You will be able to read about them in the release notes. Changes with capitalization and lots of other translation fixes. We also now allow you, and this was something that you could do on the Braille and Speak. We had a kind of a unique way of doing it, but it worked really well. You will now be able to enter computer Braille symbols, letters, whatever you need, numbers, within a literary Braille file using the standard indicators. So you would press dots 4, 5, 6, and then the plus, and then anything after that is translated properly as computer Braille, and then dots 4, 5, 6, and then dots 1, 5, 6, or the WH sign terminates that. There's a lot more that we could say about that, but they'll be outlined in the release notes. So there will be a lot of translation fixes. So writing Braille on these devices, which of course is what you're supposed to do with them, is going to be an even more accurate experience. I'll briefly tell you about some of the other changes that we've made, and then I'm going to hand it over to Tim. And Tim, you can point out all the stuff I may have forgotten. Plus, Tim's got some interesting demos. He's got a particular thing to show you that is not related to Braille translation, but I did want to at least point that out. And that really is, to me, the big deal of this update, more than the others. But let's talk about some of the other things that we have added. In US Braille files, you can now enter email addresses, and it will handle that. We've made other improvements. We've also, getting away from Braille for a second, we've added a new set of Deck Talk voices, and they'll sound basically the same as the Deck Talk voices that we already have, except that when you are doing a say all, and there's more about the say all command that we'll say more about in a minute, but when you're doing a continuous read, it will now be able to stop where you stopped. And so you should find that these Deck Talk voices will be more responsive. For improvements to say all, which is the ER chord, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 chord. So now when you're reading it, you'll be able to move by line or paragraph or text block or heading, and it will not stop the say all. I think we already added the ability to do that by sentence, but now you'll be able to move by other increments of text. And you'll still be able to have it continuously read while you're moving. And then if you really do want to stop, you can press dots 7 and 8 as you always did. So say all will be, I think, a lot more useful now. The other thing we added, I'm not going to say a heck of a lot about this because I want to leave room for Tim to really show you. But in the editor, thanks to the Markdown language, and you don't have to know Markdown to do this, we now have the ability to do what we call tasks or a list of tasks. So you'll be able to write a list of tasks like buy a gallon of milk or send the letter to Tim tomorrow. And you can either mark it as not done or done. So it's not a reminder feature per se, like the agenda calendar, but it's just a way of you being able to create a list of tasks and keep track of which tasks were done or not complete. And again, Tim will have more to say and even more to demo for you in just a bit. In a document, you can now also create links either to other parts of a document, or you could create a link actually to another document on the device, just as we do in the help files and the welcome screen. And you can even create a link to a website. So if you wanted to write a link to a website, that will be a real link. You can do that in the navigation menu. And when you activate that link, it will actually go to the website. So that was a really cool feature. You can also create email links. We've made improvements to the help and the documentation. I see that a slightly newer edition of the BT Speak manual will be on the device. Now, what you have is the 5th edition, which is pretty current, and it's much better than what we've had in the past year. But there were some additional changes that I added, and so that is technically the 6th edition, and you will find that on the BT Speak under Help and Guides and Tutorials. You can also get to it, by the way, on our website at the Resource Center. So you can download the manuals now if you don't have the latest one. For BT Braille, we're up to the 2nd edition. I'm honestly thrilled that we have real, full, start-to-finish manuals for these devices, because some of you know we didn't have them initially, and we didn't have the BT Braille manual initially when the BT Braille started shipping, and now we do. This was something I was particularly passionate about, and I still am. So these manuals are going to be updated a lot more frequently than we have been updating them. So I can't guarantee that the manual that you get on the device will have all of the latest features. Could be an update behind. So the 6th edition of the BT Speak manual is current up to June, and it's got some of July's features. So that means that it won't have everything that we added last month, and it won't have anything we've added this month, but they are going to be added. So that's better than, waiting a whole year for a manual. So I'm very passionate about documentation and making sure that it's as good and complete as possible. There's another interesting feature, speaking of documentation, where in the help section, if you go to options and then help, all of the help files are still there, but we added a new capability to browse them by category. So you might have a Braille and speech category with just help files dealing with Braille and speech functions. So there are several categories now of help files. Let's see, we have, oh yes, NFB-NEWSLINE. So we know that there have been some issues. A lot of you have let us know that certain publications didn't work in NEWSLINE. We're very sorry about that. And we think that we have made that a lot better. So not only will NFB-NEWSLINE work, but the formatting is a lot nicer in that now when you read articles and especially publications, what you'll notice is you have headings in between the articles, and you can use heading navigation commands, to move from one heading to the next or one article to the next. So that's a real improvement for those who read NEWSLINE. We have also made some improvements to the radio tuner, and one of them that I think we only found out about this a week ago was that certain stations, particularly ACB Media, when you recorded those stations, it would record them, but it would save them in an invalid file format. And so the bottom line is it had a weird extension of .ts, and you would try to play it, and the BT Speak would say, nope, we're not playing this because we don't know what kind of file it is. Now, you could work around it by renaming those files with an MP3 extension, and then they would play. Well, now you'll be able to record them, and they will record in the proper format. So you should have no trouble playing them back. Having said that, any stations that you may have recorded do not get automatically renamed. So if you've got older recordings of ACB Media or other stations that were impacted by this, you still will need to rename them with an MP3 extension, but you shouldn't have to do that going forward. One of the other things we fixed that it's been an ongoing issue that some people have noticed is now when you remove a USB or SD card, you won't find phantom links to USB drives that are not connected. So a lot of people would call and say, hey, there's still a USB 1 on my BT Speak, and I removed that a while ago, and it's not doing anything. And we're very sorry about that. So that problem should be fixed. That is only, I'm not doing it justice. That's only a small portion of what we have added. You will be able to find out more once the update is released, and you will be able to read the release notes, and you'll be able to see everything that we added. The release notes I just looked are around 19 pages. I think last month we had 10 pages. This is a lot of stuff. So, and of course, if you have questions about any of this, you can, we're happy to address them as best as we can after the demos, or you can give us a call or send us an email. So that's really my piece of this. And now, Tim, I will kick it over to you across the planet and take it away with your part. And if I've sort of missed something or glossed something over that you think really should be mentioned, particularly with Braille, because there really is a lot, feel free to jump in and provide that.
Thanks so much, David. So you've done a great job, which means my job's easier. So I always like that. I've had my head so much into all this Braille stuff, I've almost forgotten what it does and what it doesn't do. But I'll just emphasize a couple of points. As David said, people who new Blazie products are of an older vintage, such as myself, and we grew up with non-UEB Braille. So we are really committed to supporting what people use and to make sure that they can trust it and rely on it, so that if they know the rules for Braille pretty well, they should be able to get the results. You should be able to get the results that you want. And that's really been my priority with this massive Braille update process, that you can trust what you're typing in, that it will speak correctly, that if you back translate it or convert it back to a text file, that it will translate correctly. And there's a lot of behind the scenes, what we call round trip preservation now, so that if you Braille something in and then it gets converted to ASCII and then back to Braille, round tripping means that it hasn't been corrupted or broken in that backward and forward translation. Or if you've got some text, it gets translated to Braille and then back to text, that the text is the same after doing that round trip. So a lot of the work is to preserve web pages, URLs, email addresses, other precise stuff, letter number combinations, things like AM, PM, where you use the full stop, E dot, G dot. You'll find very few examples now of where you type something and you get a double D instead of a period in the middle of that word. So we referred to the code books with this to try and find most of the exceptions, and we did dictionary lookups. We ran the tables through various Braille books versus text copies to see if when we moved it from one version to the other that the material was preserved. And we can do more work, but it's much, much better. I'd say the priorities are that US Braille we put the most work into, because that's what most of us use because it's natural. Of course, UEB is much better out of the box for technology type writing, and you can mix special characters and literary content together without penalty. It was one of the reasons UEB was devised, to sort of bring us into the technology age without having to switch to a totally different code just to enter an email address, etc. So we did find quite a few issues in the UEB tables though, and where we could, we've addressed those as well. So even in UEB, you will get better results than you were getting before. So you can type in R2D2 now, and it will be R2D2, which is nice if you're a Star Wars fan, or if you like audio, SM7B, that's fine too. The UK tables we have done a lot of work on as well, and this is because people who are non-US in English language grew up on Australia, New Zealand tables that were based on UK. And in the UK tables, things like number sign is used a bit differently when you've got numbers and letters and numbers again, or dashes like David talked about. There's subtle differences in those tables and they trip people up. So if you now know the UK style or the US style and you set the table correctly, you should almost always get the results you expect. The difference in the UK tables is we don't have as good protection for this round trip issue that I talked about, but it's much, much better. Even when you would type hello full stop, sometimes it would in the UK tables say hello for. So these tables are developed by volunteers, but they were designed really for forward translation first, which is what happens if you've got a print book that you want to Braille, but they weren't really exercised well for back translation, which is what we need because we're Brailing in, but we still need the material to be converted into textual content. Now, I know you're all glazing over, so I won't go on much more about this, but suffice to say, you should get a much better result. If you do encounter problems and you're pretty sure that you are using correct Braille, drop us a note with an example of the text or send us a file and we'll do our best to look at it. Pardon me. So that is Braille in a nutshell. The details are in for how you would enter an email address in US grade 2. Like you're in your notes file, someone calls and they give you the email address. You don't have to sort of open a new file and be in computer Braille. So this is a sort of a what I call a Blazie convenience feature. It's not compliant with the code books. I have prioritized what people need, what they can rely on, and what's going to keep them out of trouble above a super strict textbook approach. So we've got a couple of exceptions, but in general, the textbook is, the code books are where we have, ignore the word textbook, that's another area, but the code books for US Braille we have conformed with. So if you want to enter an email address, you can do it in grade 2. You just type in my name, and for the @ sign we do .4.1. Then you can use .46 or lower d for the dot, and that email address should, as long as it doesn't have complicated uppercase letters potentially or accented letters, that should be safe and it will read back correctly. And when you move through it, it will read clearly. Pardon me. All right, so let's now switch to, I'm just going to demonstrate while we're on the topic of Braille, because there is a lot involved and, Braille is complicated. There are so many different codes. How do you enter a number sign in UEB? How do you enter number sign in US? How do you enter a number sign in UK or in computer Braille? These are all very tricky things to hold in our heads. So we have written a very comprehensive Braille reference now for the BT Speak and the BT Braille, which is in the help system. And I'm going to just bring that up to show you that you will have a means of getting quick tips on what to do and a summary of things, but it also demonstrates a new feature. So let me begin by going to the options menu.
Options menu.
And we'll go to help.
Help topics index.
Now I'm just going to do .4 chord now.
Guides and tutorials.
So you're familiar with that. If you go into there with enter, that's where you find the release notes and the user guides that David spoke of.
Help topics by category.
And this is our new help topics by category. If I keep going down,
AI chat.
You'll see that we've got
AI tools menu.
All of
AI
the
chat. Help topics by category.
That we've got all of the single items generally alphabetized that you can access. But let's go into the category.
Help topics by category. Getting started, G. Keyboard and input, K. Speech and Braille, S.
Okay, now a lot of these items, so you know, are listed in multiple categories, so you're likely to find them. If you think something's not in a category that should be, drop us a note and we'll fix it.
Speech and Braille.
Okay, let's look in here.
Braille input help for use in desktop mode, B.
That's the help for the Braille input feature in the desktop for being able to use grade 2 input in fields in desktop apps.
Braille use on the BT Speak, B.
So this is Braille use on the BT Speak. This is this new help topic. If you've got a BT Braille, it will say Braille use on the BT Braille automatically. I'm going to press enter to go into this.
Heading level 1 Braille use on the BT Speak.
And we'll just go down.
Blank. This topic explains the main ways to enter, read and edit Braille on the BT Speak. Each section begins with the essential commands and cells. Each Braille table section also includes a quick reference to common symbols. More explanation follows for users who are new to the feature or need a reminder. Blank.
Okay, we're going to keep going down.
Heading level 2 contents.
So this is our table of contents. So we've generated this using the new document links feature. So this is an example of how you could apply it if you want to organize your documents and create more structure.
Blank. Bullet link using the Braille keyboard.
That's our first item in the table of contents. These are high-level headings. There's lots of subheadings that this table of contents skips past so that you can quickly get to the right place.
Bullet link Braille tables and input grades.
Okay, that's some general information.
Bullet link Braille settings.
Braille settings of how to set up Braille on your device.
Bullet link using computer Braille.
Now, a section on computer Braille.
Bullet link using US Braille.
And now we've got US Braille,
Bullet link using Unified English Braille.
UEB,
Bullet link using UK Braille.
UK,
Bullet link using computer Braille code, CBC,
and
within US Braille.
computer Braille code. Now, I just want to very quickly, just so that people don't get into a bit of a confounded situation. Computer Braille, US Computer Braille, has been around for a long, long time. And that's what we use when we're in the computer Braille mode. And as you know, in there, you drop your digits, your letters to create numbers. So 1 is .2 and 2 is .23, etc. And we have symbols 1 for 1. This is an 8-bit code, so .7 capitalizes, and sometimes .8 is used for other purposes. But computer Braille is what you're all familiar with on the BT Speak and BT Braille as it exists. CBC is different. CBC is computer Braille code within US Braille, and the purpose of CBC, which is for Braille paper, so it's a 6-dot code, there's no .7 and 8 because it has to be able to be embossed. CBC allows you to insert computer content such as email addresses, web addresses, and code, or just special punctuation, etc., within your grade 2 document. You've probably seen this in textbooks where you'll get the .456 and the ing .346, and that says, okay, this isn't grade 2 anymore, this is CBC. And when you're in there, you'll see the letters, and sometimes you'll see .456 before a letter, and that makes that letter uppercase. So just to sort of, so going down the track, you don't confuse the two. They're very similar in many ways, and they're annoyingly different in some ways. And that's one of the reasons why I've created this help file, so that you can have a quick reference available to make sure you don't get in a pickle. One of the particular things that is different, and I'm sorry this is so technical, but I don't want you to get caught out. One of the things that is different, particularly in computer Braille and the CBC code, is the @ sign. Now, all of us have learned on the BT Speak and BT Braille that if we hit .4 and .7, that produces the @ sign. I'm sure you're nodding your heads and going, yes, I knew that. However, when we go to CBC, when you hit .4 in CBC, that is the @ sign. And if you were actually to try and do an uppercase @ sign, that would become the grave accent. So some of these symbols that we're familiar with have been flipped around, so they're shifted the other way. Now, I don't know why. I think probably computer Braille is so old and CBC is newer, and they try to be more consistent. But at any rate, that's a bit of a tricky aspect. So what we've done is to try and smooth this in case you are in CBC, or you find an email address in CBC or a website in CBC or something, and you want to generate keys as usual. You can still use .7 and .4, that will give you @ .7 and A will give you a capital A, and we'll change it to the CBC version of a capital A. And when you read through by letter, a CBC span, as we call it, which is just anything between the start CBC and the stop CBC indicators, it will tell you whether that letter's uppercase or lowercase. So anyway, done with that. Very happy for us to discuss it on the list. I may do a Braille training session probably when things have settled down, not this month, but in a month or so, and we might cover that in a bit more detail and give some CBC examples. But that's that. So anyway, we're back into this Braille help file. So
bullet link using UK Braille. Bullet link using computer Braille. Bullet link using Unified English Braille. Bullet link using US Braille.
All right, using US Braille. Let's have a look in here because this will give you an idea of how this help file could be a very handy reference for you.
H2 using US Braille. Heading level 3 key points.
So each of these sections has key points up the top, so you don't have to read pages of content, and you can get the salient information if you just need a refresher, and then it's expanded and explained below.
Blank. Bullet in Braille table. Select English, United States. Bullet, this is the US Grade 2 Literary Braille table. Bullet, common lowercase email addresses can be entered directly in US Literary Braille. Enter the @ sign as .4, then .1. Blank. The traditional US literary code is technically named English Braille. Blank.
Okay, just giving a bit of background.
The selected US table back translates blank. Heading level 3, entering common symbols in US Braille.
Now this is the one you want. You can search for this by heading.
The US table recognizes common lowercase email address patterns directly in literary blank. Use these cells, literal number sign or @ sign. Enter .4, then .1. Period. Enter low D, .256, or .46.
This is for email specifically in US, but
/ plus sign, enter .4, then .346. Minus sign or hyphen, enter .36. Equals sign, enter .46, then .13. Consecutive D letters, blank.
okay. So I've really just skimmed through this rather than reading through it, but I do hope that having this information structured under headings will help you work out, particularly if you're like me, switching between US, UK, and UEB and CBC, depending on what you're doing and so on, that you'll know how to enter essential symbols. So that's that demo.
Note 104.
Now, what I'm going to do is very quickly, but not in a lot of detail, show you the new task list feature. We're all down with Markdown here at Blazie, and Markdown has the capacity to represent a basic to-do list for you. Not with reminders, as David said, but the benefit is, and I think this is particularly important for students or just when you're on the go, you can have a file, a to-do file. Let's create a file.
Editor menu.
I'm just going to create a quick text note for now.
Enter name, Note 148
And
Computer
we'll call
Braille.
it,
WORK space TOTO.
so I'm calling it work to do.
Worktoto.txt file 7 of 10. End of file.
So I just used a quick note because it's the quickest way to get something open. Now, what I actually have a to-do file, and I have it as my second document. So I can always do JCORD B or JCORD 2 and jump straight to my to-do list whenever I want to add something in. But we're starting fresh. So Markdown does have a sort of a slightly complicated syntax for this, but you don't really need to worry about that. But for all these new features, for links in the editor, for the task lists in the editor, all of these have very comprehensive, detailed help files available. So let's do something like check
CHECK
check UK
UK TABLE
support.
SUPPORT
Check UK table support for
FOR
arithmetic. I'm just going to say maths.
Quest S
Maths. Oops.
space S question THS question M question
What's going on?
S.
Sorry about this, everyone.
Check UK table support for maths. SYMBOLS.
All right, and we'll do one more.
TYPEMBOREACCURATDBYWBLY.
With my microphone set up today, I've got the BT Speak right against my sternum, so my typing accuracy is a bit low. Anyway, so
Check UK blank.
So I'm going to put a heading before this as well. I'm going to say this week.
THIFWDDK.
We'll just do iCode to insert a heading.
H2 inserted. Number this week.
Okay, now we're not in Markdown mode yet, but I'm going down to the first.
Check UK table support for math symbols.
So I'm on this line that is a pending task. I've just typed it in. I haven't put any bullet points or any special syntax. Now I'm going into the navigation menu. I will say that we may restructure some of these commands in the edit and navigation menu at a later date. They're getting a bit long and unwieldy, but we thought it was more important to get the functionality out for students and other people who maybe need to be able to track when their assignment's due and what they've got to do in terms of getting materials or finding, doing their research and so on. And that's one of the reasons why I thought this task list feature was so important, so students and others can manage complex tasks and break them down into things they need to do and set dates on them. All right, so I'm going to go to the navigation menu.
Navigation menu.
And we'll just go up.
Sort tasks, set task, mark all task summary, next open tab, previous add or top, insert web link, add or toggle task.
All right, so I'm at the top of the list of tasks now. I'm just going to run through it and then I'll come back to this. So we've got
add or toggle task.
Add or toggle task. That's what we're going to use to turn this line of text into a formal task. The other options in the menu are
previous open task.
Jump to the previous open task.
Next open task.
Jump to the next open task, which means that it's not completed.
Task summary. S.
There's a summary of tasks, how many are done, how many aren't done, and so on.
Mark all tasks done.
Mark everything as done. Sometimes you just go, this task list's a month old. I don't care anymore. And you mark it all as done. Or that just probably talks about me.
Mark all tasks not done. You.
Or you realize that was just a bit of a little tantrum and you mark them all as undone again and finish them.
Set task priority, R.
You can set a priority, a letter, so you can have priority A, priority B, whatever you like, and then we can sort those tasks so your high priorities are floated to the top of the task list.
Set task due date, T.
And you can set a due date, and when you do that, you can just say tomorrow. Type in tomorrow or type in next week, and it will automatically interpret that based on one of the features we're using and convert that to a real date.
Sort tasks by priority, O.
And you can sort your tasks by priority, as I mentioned.
Sort tasks by due date, E.
And you can sort tasks by due date. But anyway, let's just run up here.
Mark all tasks, task sum, next open task, preview, add or toggle task, T.
All right. So what you need to know is if you've got your cursor is on this item, check UK support of math symbols. You can just do encode and T. So I'm going to press T now.
Markdown render mode on. Task created.
Okay, now you heard it say markdown render mode on. It said you're in tasks. Clearly markdown rendering and natural speech is what you want. Let me read the current line. I'm out of the menu now and we're back on this item.
Not done. Check UK table support for math symbols.
If I go up one.
Heading level 2 this week.
This is this week.
Not done. Check UK table support for math symbols.
Going down.
Type more accurately.
And type more accurately. Let's do that. Encode T.
Navigation menu. Task created.
Okay, just check that.
Not done. Type more accurately.
All right. So let's say that.
Not done. Check you. Not done. Type more accurately.
Type more accurately is our second one. Let's change the priority of that.
Navigation menu. Sort task. Set task priority. R.
So that's R. So you can learn these letters. I'm going to hit enter.
Priority letter. Space to clear. Escape to cancel.
I'll press A for priority A.
Priority A.
And we'll read current line.
Not done. Type more accurately. Priority A.
And above
not
it.
Not done. Check UK table support for math symbols.
We've got not done. Check blah, 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 blah. Now, if I sort by priority, well, I'm going to do, let's do that.
Navigation. Sort tasks by due date. Sort tasks by priority. Sorted by priority.
Okay, we're out of here now.
Heading level 2 this week.
So we're on this week, and then the first item under this now is...
Not done. Type more accurately. Priority A.
That has now moved to the top of the list because it has a priority set, and that's more important than a non-prioritized message. And what I'm going to do is tick that as done. I'm going to do encode.
Navigation menu.
And I'm going to type T for toggle or create task.
Done.
And now we'll read the line.
Done. Type more accurately. Priority A. Not done. Check UK table support for math symbols.
Okay, now it's not much use having all the done things at the top of your list because that's inefficient. If we go into and this is, when you've got 10 or 15 tasks, this becomes important. We go back into the navigation menu.
Navigation menu. Sort tasks by due date. E. Sort tasks by priority. O.
I'm just going to sort by priority again, and let's see what happens.
Sorted by priority. Heading level 2 this week. Not done. Check UK table support for math symbols. Done. Type more accurately. Priority A.
So when you play with this, it should make reasonable sense, I think, if I haven't explained it adequately. But basically, if you've got a bunch of tasks that you've ticked off, which we all love doing, and then you do that quick sort, it will basically sort them so you have all of the undone tasks first. You can have any number of task lists within a document and in different documents. You just need a blank line between each task list, and the heading is optional. And let's just do
Not done.
one
Check
more
UK
thing.
table support for math symbols.
I'm in the this task list. I'm just going to get the summary so that you can see what that does as well.
Navigation menu. Sort tasks. Sort. Set task due date. Set task. Mark all tasks. Mark all task summary. S.
So that's S.
9:45 a.m. Wednesday, August 5th, 2026.
Oops.
1 of 2 done. 1 still to go.
All right. Okay. Because I had another heading straight before this week, it read that heading. Because I didn't have a blank line. I broke my rule. It didn't have a blank line before the task list.
Heading level 2 this week.
So I'm going to do that right now.
Number. Blank. Heading level 2 this week. Navigation. This week. 1 of 2 done. 1 still to go.
Okay. So now it's read the heading of the task list this week. It said 1 of 2 done. 1 to go. Well, that is the new task list feature. And if you, like me, have a challenging memory, I think you'll find it quite useful. If you turn Markdown mode off, you have the full syntax there, and you can examine how that's formatted. And as I say, it's very comprehensively documented in the help system. I think that covers most of the things that I wanted to do. So I'm going to hand back to David. Happy to answer any questions when we get to that point. And thanks for not falling asleep with some tricky technical material. Okay, back to you, David.
Thank you much. That was great. Thank you so much, Tim. And I know we're all looking forward to these features. And another feature, a very small thing, it might seem small to some of you, but I would like to call it out. We now have a shortcut to directly access the AI tools. It's pretty easy to access them as it is. You press E chord, and then you could either arrow down to AI tools and press enter, or you could press I for a shortcut and then get the AI tools menu. But now with this new update, you'll be able to press E chord with .8, and that will directly open the AI tools menu. I'm really glad we're doing this. The AI tools are just becoming more robust over the past few updates, and they really are pretty amazing. And you can really do a lot with them. And so we really want to make it as easy as possible for you to access those, such as spelling correction and synonyms and antonyms, and able to change the writing style of your document. These are really important tools, and a lot of other word processors use AI to do this. I want to make it clear that it's only there when you need it or when you want it. It's not imposing itself on you or forcing itself on you in any way. But AI can be very beneficial for a lot of tasks, and we really want these tools to be as accessible, not just accessible to blind people, but accessible as far as being able to access them and to make them as discoverable as we can. So there you have it. That's what we've added. We won't have a lot of time for questions, but we can certainly take a few if you'd like to raise your hand and we'll be glad to answer them. So, Elizabeth, if you see any raised hands, let us know. Otherwise, there's no reason why we can't end the webinar at the moment.
And David, I'd just add that
Oh, yeah.
the shortcut for AI tools, I think of it as editor AI tools, and that's why we use the letter E, because all the I shortcuts were gone. So if you think editor AI, then it's eCode with .8.
Yes. And I also wanted to call out something else that was fixed, and I don't know if it's going to make it in this release. So, Tim, you might be able to comment on this. I normally don't bring up things that might be going in the update after the current one that we're promoting, except that this is something that's impacted a lot of people. People have called about it, and I know that one of you guys on the development team have addressed this, and that is with the Bard app. That now, when you open up the Bard app to read a book and you close it, right now it's not remembering your place. There was a workaround for this, but I believe that Simon has fixed that. Do you know if that's going in the August update, or is that going to go into the following update?
No, that was something Simon did yesterday, but it will
Okay,
definitely be in the next update with a couple of other related Bard enhancements for Braille. So I won't spoil them, but
gotcha.
keep posted. We'll keep you posted.
So we can look forward to that in September.
Hmm.
Yeah, right at the beginning of school. So that's cool. So just to let you know, the Bard app, that issue, you will see a fix for that in another month. So I'm really pleased about that. Okay, we got raised hands. I hear them popping up all over the place.
Yes, it looks like Kathy was first.
I was hoping to be able to uh, do Zoom on my BT Braille, but I could not remember how to get past that dialog box when I'm in Firefox that asked me to allow access to the microphone and the camera.
I think this may have been fixed. So what you are supposed to be able to do is press F6, and that would be the lower F dots 235 chord with the letter F for 6. And I will admit that was not, somehow that had gotten broken in desktop mode, and I don't know what the status of that is. And I'm sorry about that. We will fix it. I just don't know where it,
Yeah,
if it already was addressed and it'll be making its way in there soon, or if it's still being addressed as.
It might still be an open issue because I
Gotcha.
think we were unclear whether it was a desktop or a non-desktop issue, and so I'll follow up on that. But I don't. We haven't made any changes there specifically. I'm
Got
not
it.
actually sure why it would have stopped working, but that's another
yeah. I
matter.
had another quick question, if I might.
Sure. And
I
just
think
just
that I,
just to verify to Tim, yeah, this was specifically broken in desktop mode. I think not in desktop mode. It actually still works.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
So we definitely know about it, Kathy, and we will fix it because it, as Tim said, we're not sure how it broke, but we'll figure it out.
And it looks like Michael Harris was next, so I'm going to ask you to unmute.
So, wondering if being able to turn off, particularly Bluetooth, would be on the roadmap in Blazie mode. I've had some issues where I have the BTs, or a device paired to multiple things, and I'd like to be able to turn it off on the BT speak so that there's not confusion. And then my other question is, I do have a maintenance contract, and the little USB to headphone adapter that I have has got a short in it. Is that something that I could send back and get replaced under a maintenance contract or not? Thank
So
you.
typically, I don't believe that the maintenance contract covers that particular accessory.
Okay, cool.
But I mean, the good news is they're really inexpensive, and I have heard from at least one of our folks internally that the adapter from Apple is particularly good.
Okay, maybe we don't have where the beginnings of words get cut off. If we get that one, is what I think I heard.
Well, in fact, we have already fixed the beginning of words being cut off with
Yes.
the supplied adapter, so that
Oh,
should,
okay. I haven't used it lately.
yeah, so that definitely is a fix we did last month. There's so many little fixes that they get a bit lost in the flurry of all the bigger features, but that has been actually addressed.
Oh, good.
Your other question about Bluetooth is we are aware, and we are on a couple of levels looking at, yes, yeah, that you could turn Bluetooth off, but also trying to working on some changes to improve the Bluetooth experience more generally, quality and reliability, particularly after you turn your machine on and then it goes, oh, I'm going to grab that Bluetooth even if you're doing something else. So more work needs to be done, but there's nothing to announce at this stage, but you are being heard.
Great stuff. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, and Leo, it looks like you had your hand raised, so I'm asking you to unmute.
Hey everyone,
Hey,
awesome
Leo.
presentation. Love the demos, especially the tasks. Feel like that's going to be really useful. Looking forward to it. Just a quick question. So I've been trying to copy the output from the terminal in both Blazie and Orca with Orca on desktop mode,
Yeah.
and I just can't figure out what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I'm missing something. So yeah, I would love to see if you guys might know.
Look, it's a big topic, which probably now isn't, like we haven't got time to go into it now, but have you potentially, I don't know if you've raised this on the list,
I
but
have, yeah.
well, right, well, I probably haven't got back to you. Was it you who was also requesting being able to paste into the shell as well, or
Probably.
sort of capturing text from the desktop? Look, if you send another email to the list, we'll have a discussion around it. We're using BRL TTY, which is a separate program currently for the shell, and the desktop uses its own thing. You can redirect output in the shell with various shell commands and so on, but that's a different situation. So let's take this online to the email list and see what we can do that might help you get there, but it's not a problem with the simple solution, I think is the truth.
Yeah, no worries. That sounds great. I just I thought there might be an option to configure a key binding with Orca, but I wasn't sure how that would work with the BT Braille with the BRL TTY and everything. But yeah, I'm happy to take that on the list.
Cool. So you're a BT Braille user, so pop it on that list or the main list. But since you're using Braille as well, pop it on the BT Braille list, and we'll see what we can at least make sure that there's something that if there's something that is doable that you're not aware of, that you might be able to have a workaround. But this is sort of a broader shortcoming of terminals on every device on the planet, actually trying to get output easily copied. But there are often other ways. Anyway, we'll deal with that. So I'm rambling. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
And it looks like we have 2 more questions. So the next one is James Mobile. I will go ahead and ask you to unmute now.
Yep, and we'll just take those 2, and then we're gonna end it because it's already getting past the hour. So, hey, James.
Hello, thanks, David, everybody. This is actually, I'm glad that came up before my question. The first thing I wanted to say, I actually don't have a question. I just have 2 things I'd like to share. The first thing is that I know that Chromium works with the BT Speak and probably the BT Braille as far as getting into Zoom meetings without the need to press F6. Yeah, I have never been able to get the F6 key, F function keys to work, so I guess that needs to be looked at. And then the other thing is regarding copying from the desktop to the terminal. We figured this out, and I would love to advertise the BT Geeks list. So I don't have a BT Braille, so I didn't see that message hit the list. But I actually did come up with a command to copy from the Blazie clipboard, which is just a file. It's like var BT speak clipboard.txt or something like that. And I came up with the command for it. And you can find out by going to groups.io and searching for BT GEEKS. And that's where we talk about all sorts of cool things to do with the BT Speak. So thank you.
Great, thanks for that, James, and thanks for all of your bug hunting and stuff that sort of keeps us moving forward. So we appreciate your contributions.
All right, we're going to take one more, and then we'll end the webinar for tonight.
Perfect. And the last one is James O'Neill.
My BT Speak does not want to connect to my earbuds that I use for my iPhone, and these are a new pair. I've tried them. I've tried the cable that connects to a regular set of headphones, and neither one works. I know the cable's good because I plugged it into my iPhone 17 Pro, and I was able to hear it. Is there something I can reset in my audio settings, or
are these Bluetooth?
I'm on Bluetooth right now on my phone, but these headphones are hardwired headphones. They're the ones they're the earbuds that come with the iPhone.
So these the earpods with USB connector,
right,
or with the adapter. Okay. All right. So look, this is an issue that some people encounter when they plug those headphones into the BT Speak. They have no problem at all, and the audio switches over as fundamentally it should, and other people don't. All I can say to you is that we realise that this is a real issue. We've done preliminary work towards making it more reliable across devices. So when you unplug those earpods, they return back to the phone. We've sort of started to identify what some of the bigger issues are that were leading to these unreliable results, and it's because we've got the desktop and Blazie sort of running, and two different services are both trying to control audio. So we've sort of tracked down the cause now, and hopefully a robust solution will be, maybe in the next update. I can't say when, but I hear your pain, and it catches me out as well. And sometimes, unplugging and replugging will make a difference, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes once it stops working, it just doesn't. And that's sort of where we're at.
And this unit has always been this way. Other units, no problem, but this particular unit, I don't know.
As in, you've had a different BT Speak before that worked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It is a bit of a sort of a suffice to say, I've encountered this variation too. So
okay,
but it's software, it is software, not hardware. I can tell you that.
That's kind of what I thought, because it does see, when you connect the thumb drive that I have, no problem there. So I don't see it as being a data issue. Might just be a software thing. I've tried sending the audio several times, and it still is not happy.
Yeah, I did actually spend quite a bit of time not so long ago starting to work on some better fixes for this. So we will revisit that. So thanks for
thank you so very much.
Yep, no worries. And we'd like to thank everyone for participating, listening, and for your questions. And again, the update will be out very shortly. We really are in the middle of doing last-minute testing, so if you're on any of our lists, you will know about it. If you turn on your BT Speak and the update is available, Tim, does it still tells you at least once a day that a new update is available if it's connected to a
That
network, right?
feature, when we sort of changed over to the new updating system, that feature sort of disappeared, and it may be back or it's coming back. We have rewritten the updater, and when you do this update, you won't notice it, but when you do the next update, it's a bit tricky, then the new updater will be in place, and it will be a lot faster. That's actually another feature of this update, that if it's not this one, then the next update will be much quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, David, I'm not sure whether the auto reminders are fully reactivated, but they will be.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us internally, we don't know because we're just continually updating it as soon as a new update is available, and we never give it a chance. So it's been a long time since I've heard my BT Speak say a new update is available. But anyway, it should be available soon. If you're on the lists, please check those out. We will announce those first. We announce them literally on the list as soon as the updates are available. We post the release notes to the main list. If you're not on the main list, anyone, even if you're not a customer, is free to join. If you just want to lurk and see what people are talking about and asking about, and to see how those Blazie folks are responding to everything that's being asked about, you can join us. The email address to subscribe is btspeak plus subscribe. That's the plus sign. BT Speak, all one word, plus subscribe at groups.io. We'll approve you, and you'll find out about the updates. And of course, if you go to our website, we have that on our website as well. So, and our website is blazietech.com. You can go there and read about all the latest happenings at the company. We are going to be having a customer testimonials page pretty soon. The page is being slowly reorganized in a way that I think is much better than the original layout. So you'll notice little changes over time. Our phone number, if you need to call us, is 772-214-1616. And whatever social media platform you go on, we're always there responding to things. I heavily monitor our Mastodon account, and I know Bianca and or Elizabeth is monitoring Facebook. So we're everywhere you want to be on social media. Okay, I've said enough. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this.